Multiple firefights across SoCal are still very active this morning.
Crews have worked around the clock to not just battle 2-week-old fires, but 2 new ones overnight. Joining us this morning to talk about this relentless firefight is State Fire Marshal Daniel Berlant with CAL FIRE. Thank you so much for being with us, and also thank you so much for all the work you and your crews are doing.
Yeah, it has been an exhausting couple of weeks, but our firefighters continue to stand ready, not only in their work towards containing the active fires, the Hughes fire, still working on the Eaton Palisades fire, but new fires that are breaking out. Over a dozen fires across the state, mostly down in Southern California, still igniting under these critical fire weather conditions. So again, really until we see significant rainfall, our firefighters stand ready.
I know. We watched this Hughes fire specifically just really explode. I heard one reporter describe it as almost a wave of fire coming at them while they were standing out there. How do your crews manage to get on top of this? And some of the pictures are so dramatic. Can you take people through why you feel you have the upper hand?
Yeah, well, this fire, like the others, has been a very fast-moving wildfire, quickly growing in size. Luckily, we have been able to surge our resources. We had significant amount of resources staged across Southern California, including in Santa Clarita. So when this wildfire broke out, we were quickly able to assist the Angeles National Forest and the County of Los Angeles Fire Department with fire engines, bulldozers, hand crews, and aircraft, and really hit it hard with everything that we've got. Now, it is really important to note that while we are seeing critical fire conditions and expecting them through tomorrow, these are not the same conditions that we saw just 2 weeks ago. These are not the same hurricane level winds. And so the weather is definitely continuing to be a challenge, but our firefighters are making good progress with all of the surged resources.
Yeah, that was a huge relief to see. And that's the same case with the Sepulveda fire, right? Because you had people positioned for the Palisades fire, which was not very far away. And that was a big concern overnight for people as well.
Yeah, obviously the city of Los Angeles very busy overnight. That fire, LA Fire Department's reporting about 40 acres or so. But yes, all of these additional resources that fire departments across the state, not just CAL FIRE, but our local partners as well. We are still holding on to a lot of out-of-state resources as well. All again surging in Southern California, available for new responses. We had fires over the past week in San Diego, in the Inland Empire, and across the Southland. And so really until these red flag warnings for critical fire weather expire, we're going to continue to stand ready and likely be very busy. And that's why it's so important that while we are ready, that we ask the public to do their part right now, to be extra cautious, because under these kind of conditions, it doesn't take much for a fire to spark. And once that spark occurs under these winds, it's going to likely grow very quickly. And so we need the public to be prepared, but also to do their part to prevent fires.
You know, you said it at the beginning. I want to circle back. You're exhausted. Your crews are exhausted. I have to imagine your families are exhausted. How do you keep your crews motivated and, ready to go in these types of situations? I know even, the general public right now has anxiety. I can't imagine what you guys are dealing with.
Yeah, this has been over 2 weeks straight. And, unfortunately, this is January. This is not when we would typically think of the peak of our fire year, but it really is a fire year. And here we are in January. And so making sure our firefighters are getting rest and getting some time off, while we may not have been able to let many of them go back home, we are working to get them rest so that they can go back out on the fire lines. Many of our firefighters are working 24, in some of these cases with these new fires, sometimes 48 hours straight. And so it's very important, the health and well-being of our firefighters. And that's why with so many additional resources in Southern California, it allows us to really try to ensure we're rotating our firefighters, giving them time. But as you mentioned, it is absolutely a sacrifice for their families. But it is our job to make sure that we are protecting all Californians. And again, here we are in January. Who knows what is to come through the next months as we get really into the more traditional peak of our fire year. And again, that is why our plea for the public to be cautious, be prepared, so that we can try to avoid what has been a really unfortunate start to the fire year.
Yeah, we need everyone's help. Chief, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all you're doing for the community as well.
Thanks.